So what happened? I'm trying to go in chronological order. Did you first get sick after this? Or...
So I got sick in 2009, I think, between two schools. And then I nearly died. So that was an illness called Cushing's, caused by a pituitary tumor. And basically the hormone that was being produced pretty much went for every part of my body, and ended up in intensive care in King's College Hospital. And then when they took it out, it was only like 6 millimeters, but tiny little thing doing a lot of damage. I then went to my second school, and kind of halfway through that, I was like, it's no different from the first school. Shouldn't really be here, need to live my life. And at that point, I hadn't actually got any passions. The only thing I was kind of interested in was the environment, which my teacher of teaching had kind of got me into. And I had one of my ex-boyfriends was really passionate about climbing, and I'd always been a bit like, oh, I want to have a passion, you know. I don't. Like, I want to love something that much that, you know, I do whatever to have that in my life a lot. And so I kind of set out, I guess, a little bit to find what my passion was, or what I like doing, even just what I like doing, and ended up in Africa on the Nile, learning to paddle.
Wow.
Came back to London.
Did you travel quite a lot then?
Yeah, so it's kind of started, the Duke of Edinburgh bit obviously kind of helped, and I did a fair bit of sort of charity work when I was young. I don't know why I did all these things. They just obviously were instilled in me or something. And then I had a year out after sort of not working out at Edinburgh for about 2 weeks. Had a year out, did a bit of travel. Then my fiance at the time had a best friend who was paralysed from the shoulders down, and they were going to drive down to Kenya. Then they changed it to Cape Town. He was going to drive every kilometre, the paralysed guy, and I was going to kind of go as support, which I did do. I went Ethiopia. I disengaged from said fiance, and then carried on travelling with them to Cape Town for another 4 months, and we raised 500 grand. And the guy in the wheelchair, Colin, sort of succeeded in his mission to drive every kilometre. I think that was really important, that trip, because it taught me that actually kind of the value of the purpose in that challenge, those challenges that I faced, because I felt like I couldn't leave because I was part of his team. And if I left, it might put his trip and his dream at like, my English is so bad, you know, detriment. So I kind of carried on, despite the fact that my ex-fiance was in the Land Rover with us the whole way down to, and they were so horrible to me. Understandably, I kind of dumped him. So, you know, that kind of post split up meanness. And kind of, so I guess that and then after that, I spent my wedding money on a little round the world trip. So when I was 16, I went to Canada with the cadets. There's various little things. I blame it on my third child syndrome, because I'm the middle child. So I think I've always like tried to be different, or more crazy, or more interesting, or more, or better.
If it helps, I'm the second child, but I agree with what you're saying. This always used to annoy me, is that my mom doesn't watch these, so I can say this, but she'd always say that my older brother was the smart one, and he found school really easy as well. I had to work hard at everything. But almost, I think inherently from like a kid, like 4 years old, I was at a chip on my shoulder to beat my brother. And it was just, so I learned to ride a bike before him. And I think now it's almost that just, you know, I'm a nightmare.
It's that competitive. I guess you have to be slightly careful on the sort of the character of the child, that you don't instill some sort of like real, you know, negative chip, because some people will go like that's competition, I'm going to beat them, which is what I did. But it is funny, isn't it? Those kind of messages that kids in the position in the family that they get, and how it turns out.